Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a podcast by Practical E-Commerce.
What's going on, Internet? Eric Banholtz here, founder of Beard Brand, and you are listening to another E-Commerce Conversations. Got a special guest here today on our third part of our series where we talk about the early days of building your e-commerce business. I've got Andrea Nucete Elliott here, and she is Italian and I am not, so I just went ahead and butchered her name. So I'm going to let her go ahead and repeat her name so you guys can get it in its full glory. Go ahead.
Hi, Eric. I'm Andrea Nucete Elliott.
Yeah. I totally butchered that one there.
Yeah, I've gotten several pronunciations. So
yeah, and your business is TIY, for short for Tie It Yourself. It's a hair tie business. And why don't you go in and give us kind of like a little overview of what the business is about?
Of course. We, as in my husband and I, established this company in early 2012. He came up with the idea of TIY as a hair tie that solves the problems that he, as a collegiate volleyball coach, found in his athletes. It kind of started as an observation on his side, and DIY slowly became the solver of a problem that we didn't even know it existed. It kind of came out the need of women to have a different type of hair tie out when they were running, when they were playing. For us, it started with volleyball because I play professional volleyball and I currently play beach volleyball. And my husband, as I said, coaches collegiate volleyball. And he would notice all the time that his girls during the timeouts were doing their hair all the time. The ponytails would fall on the side. They were redoing their messy buns. Some of them during practice didn't have hair ties because they would break right before practice. So it's not that you walk around with a bunch of hair ties. So DIY was born more of a out of the need to fix something that wasn't really out there, and it has grown into something different in which we are as a company maturing into and evolving, I would say, into something that is getting to empower women and empower different type of women and their hair as well. Yeah.
It's funny. A couple things that I took away from that was the idea started all the way back in 2012, right?
Yeah.
That's when your husband's name's Jarrett.
Jarrett Elliott, yeah.
And when he first got the inspiration, and then it really wasn't until this month that we kind of did like an official launch.
Yeah.
So I think it's really kind of interesting to see like a business launch. You just assume it appears overnight, but you never see like the build up to that. Talk a little bit more about like the products that you currently offer.
Yeah, it's funny that you say launch because we actually never until this past Labor Day launched actually the product. It was there because my husband created this elastic that it's engineered to be different. It's softer and stronger at the same time. And it's a hard idea to grasp your mind around until you actually put it on. and try it. But we currently offer 2 different versions of the product. A basic, which is a 34-inch elastic that will allow you to make anywhere from 1 to 5 hair ties that will last you months, compared to the other hair ties that will probably end up lost in your car or in your bag. And the other product is the Pro version that it's 7 inches longer, so for a total of 41 inches. And it comes into a system that will cut it for you. Kind of like dental floss, if you think about it. You pull the string and the elastic out of the dispenser and you squeeze the system, and it will cut it for you. It has a blade inside, and you can create on the go, on the fly. If your hair tie breaks, or if you're using yours already and you want just a different color, you can make yourself a hair tie according to the volume of your hair. Or if you're braiding it and you aren't planning on it, you can make a smaller loop and close that up and just rock your hair.
Yeah. And you mentioned multiple colors. How many color offers?
We currently offer 14 colors in the basic version and 13 in the Pro system.
Okay. So like all told, that's going to be like 27 different, like unique individual products.
Yes.
I would imagine that, for a first time business and getting off the ground, to like facilitate 27 different SKUs to launch would be pretty challenging. Talk a little bit more about that process of actually having these made.
Yeah, we have them made overseas, and it was a long process from the idea of having something unique and strong, but soft, so that it wouldn't damage your hair, but at the same time it will hold it up. So we went through a year of samples. So we had the idea. We talked to a friend out in California who was able to have these contacts and this product that we wanted to create. So he gave us a first sample. We tried out for a couple of weeks, and then we made a couple of tweaks. We gave samples away. We received some feedback, and that went on that back and forth happened for about a year until we actually found the perfect formula for what we wanted. And we found something that is extremely durable. It won't break. The other day I was doing a couple of weight testings with dumbbells about 20 pounds, and the loop one loop will stay and hold on a 20-pound dumbbell. It was kind of fun.
I think that's, now at this time, was it kind of like a side project for Jarrett and you, or was it something that someone was full-time trying to develop this?
Absolutely. My husband coaches here in Austin, and that is his full-time job. At the time he came up with the idea, him and I hadn't met yet, and it was very funny the way I was introduced to the product. I was sent this envelope with 3 of the elastics that he had in testing. So I was going through the process of a normal customer and just trying this new idea out. And the elastic sat in my car for about two months until I was on my way to practice and I broke my hair ties, which I need 3 of them to hold my ponytail up. And I decided to try these elastics. I saw it for the first time. I didn't know what to do. So I wrapped them. I didn't have scissors in my car. I wrapped them the best way I could around my fingers. And that came up what today we call the 4-loop, the 4-loop version that held up my hair. I fell in love with the product. And after that, it was always a side project because I was finishing college. He has a full-time job. And until we met you, and we decided to dive into TIY full time, at least on my side. Yes, it was a side project. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's like an important lesson for like budding entrepreneurs, is that you don't have to go and like quit your job to get something started. You put in a couple extra hours every night and you work toward it. And there you're going to see like your passion for the project. Because if you kind of burn out doing it on the side after a couple of months, then it's a good thing you didn't quit your job, right? You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, it's good that I didn't say, okay, I'm not going to get my degree anymore. And my husband didn't say, oh, yeah, I'll just quit my job and dedicate. It was more of a fun experiment at first. We were just giving these samples away, and we started with a WooCommerce website because people were asking where they could get this thing and they didn't know how to call it. They say, I want more of this elastic. So it was born out of necessity. They were asking where they could buy it. We found a family friend who was familiar with WooCommerce, and she said, yeah, of course, I can do this for you. It took probably a week to set up and coding and everything like that. Just that we could have a product up there and people could just buy it from the website instead of calling us and say, hey, this is my address. Can I have some more?
Yeah, the actual e-commerce store really does. Like if you think about it from a traditional standpoint of like taking orders and shipping them out, like just the software alone, whether it be WooCommerce or anything else, is just going to save so much time.
Yeah.
And I've never even like thought about it until you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, the alternative is just sitting on the phone all day.
Yeah, and we would have, it was more of like a community, because that's what we at DIY Life want to do, is that it's not just the hair tie, it's the fact that you can find that community around you that thinks about hair ties differently. We think about your hair in a different way. We buy sized clothing that fits us. Why wouldn't we have a hair tie that fits the volume of our hair?
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at it, the actual product, it seems like such a simple, I would almost call it like evolution of the hair tie, right? Like everyone who's listening to this right now, when you think of a hair tie, you think of a circle, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like you fundamentally, like you eliminated the circle to create a string, and that string allows you to tie it to whatever thickness you need. Like you said, like you can loop it once, you can loop it twice, 3 times, 4 times if you have really thick hair. Andrea is here in the studio. She's braided up her hair, and it's got to be like, if you knotted that in a circle, it probably would have been like a 3-inch diameter of hair, I would imagine. Maybe. Yeah, maybe even bigger.
Maybe a little more.
She's looping it now. So, like as you think about building your e-commerce in those early days, like what are traditional products that you interact with all the time that maybe you can look around and say, like, if I just tweaked it this little bit, and granted it was more than just the string, it was also the rubber and the shear around it that make it different?
More than tweaking and fixing other products, I believe that we were able to get away from that idea and create something that went back to the roots. We went back to thinking about how can we hold our hair up,
right,
in an easier way that fits everybody. Because the loops that you kind of see out there is different characteristics. Some of them don't slip and they're made for that. Some of them are stronger and they're made for a heavier hair. Some of them are softer because they don't want to give you creases. And some others are just for medium hair, fine hair, thick hair, but they're all different products. So we were trying to collapse that idea that we don't need to buy 3 different types of hair ties when you can just, by adjusting the size of it, you can get the same out of one product.
Yeah, and I think not only can you get the same, but you can get like infinitely more. Like you were showing me, or I saw on Instagram as well, like you'll weave like 3 of them together.
Yeah, and that was something that it was
Like
a natural evolution. Right. We would get the feedback from all the people that received the samples and bought it early on, and we got some rugby players that were using it to hold their socks up when they were in the match. Some girls that were braiding it within their braids, just to add some color to it. The product is really elastic and really versatile. So you can really expand the use of it to whatever you want it to be. A lot of teams, we are a performance-based product, so it was born out of the necessity to solve a problem for athletes originally, and then it has expanded into team colors, and people braid it together and put it on their backpacks, and it has become more of a symbol and a lifestyle. You can tell if someone is wearing our hair tie because from the knots that you tie, it comes out two little antennas that they're easy to identify. When you see someone actually wearing TIY, you can tell right away.
Right. That's pretty cool. I think it's like the other important takeaway or lesson from that is just like your immersion with the customer, right? Like getting all that feedback in those early days and continuously. Really, like in any good business, is like you learn about the product, you learn how the product can perform in ways that you guys didn't even imagine. So let's kind of walk back through this story. So the idea starts in 2017 or 2012, excuse me. You work on product development through 2013, would you say, or is that?
Product itself, the basic version, yes, for about a year and a couple of months to get the right exact product that we were envisioning. And from there, it just stayed a side project.
Yeah. So he ordered all 13 colors or the 14 colors of the basic, and then just started essentially doing like market research, right?
Yes. So we had a minimum order placed from the manufacturing company, and we had them. We currently still have them all in our house. So there is a chunk of our real estate home that is taken by TIY, and we started doing some market testing, very, very grassroots, word of mouth, distributing to everybody we are in contact with. And that went like a snowball. It started growing and growing without noticing, without having to push. We have never done advertising until now that we will start. And we have never pushed the product out there, and it's been extremely organic. The feedback, the distribution, everything about it has been just going with the flow.
Yeah. So you had the WooCommerce store, and then you just like did the official launch with a new store. What platform are you on?
Yes, Shopify.
Shopify. So you've got a new Shopify store that launched over the Labor Day weekend. What kind of like volume were you guys doing before the launch, and then subsequent to the after the launch?
It was strange since we didn't look at that data on a regular basis. It was there, people that knew about it were ordering, so it was a very minimum volume. It was very variable, depend on the week, if people were talking about it, if they were not. Before the switch to Shopify, which it made it way easier. I don't have a business background. I don't have a developer background. So dealing with Shopify, it was intuitive and very, very easy for me that don't know anything about coding and things like that. So arriving to that point in which things changed the volume and everything was made easier to deal with was also allowing me more time, and is still today allowing me more time to focus on customer service and making sure that I'm building those relationships with our customers, because one of our core values is to be true with who we're dealing with. We don't want to feel that coldness when you are approaching us. Like, if you're DMing me on Instagram, you're going to get an honest answer. It's a human on the back of the phone responding. Same with an email. We're trying to accommodate everybody's need, and the feedback has been tremendous, positive and amazing to see the ways that people are using our product.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this off air, but what kind of orders have you done within the first couple of weeks of the new launch?
It's been amazing. We've had we're getting close to 100 orders.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about 95 in about 17 days, 16, 17 days. And it's been great. The response has been still without any type of advertising, overwhelming.
So that's no advertising at all. No like Facebook, no ads or anything, radio ads, things like that. How are people hearing about the product then? Where do you think most people are finding out about TIY?
Mainly on Instagram. I believe that we are doing a good job of touching base with all the people that had tried the product before and are trying to step up the game when it comes down to showing other people how the product is being used and sharing that excitement when they wear it for the first time. And a couple of days ago, we just had a girl from Switzerland reach out to us, and she made a video. She's a volleyball player, and showed that she had been wearing that exact same hair tie for 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, and that caught me off guard. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And like her, many other make their own videos, comparison between wearing our hair tie and going on a run, and showing the before and after with a normal hair tie and DIY. And those things have been probably the motor and the engine of our sales.
I want to come back to Instagram, but I kind of want to touch base on one of the comments you made about her wearing it for a year. And specifically, when we look at these hair ties, if you've ever bought hair ties before, and believe it or not, I used to have long hair down below my chin. Like I would just go to the pharmacy or grocery store and just pick up whatever generic products, and they're not very expensive. They're like a couple $, for like 8 of them. And
you would be surprised. I've been doing some buying here in the US. Any grocery stores that you go, yes, you get about 15 of them for about $4.39, $5.
Yeah.
I thought it was cheaper, but when I actually look at it, it ramps up.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, even though maybe it's more expensive than I thought, it's still, when you compare it to your product is clearly a premium product, and it's going to be more expensive. But like that example that you gave me of how she used one hair tie for an entire year, like it almost feels like hair ties were disposable, right? You just lose them, you forget about them, and
yeah, you actually don't think about it until you are presented with the problem. I believe it's because we have accepted the idea of the hair tie as that loop, or you find different solutions as wrapping a headband. If you have thicker hair, you don't use 3 or 4 hair ties anymore. You just go a bigger loop and then you wrap it around many, many times. And that has been something that we were able to solve with just giving you the possibility to make your own.
Yeah. Yeah. And really like not being afraid to be confident in your product and to have that price point reflect the value that it brings to people.
Yes. Thinking about it, I've gotten questions, fair enough. Why is this more expensive? From people that have never tried the product before. When you look at lifespan of a normal hair tie, when you look at how easy you lose them, what little value you give to your hair tie until you meet DIY. A funny example I've given to many friends, the hair ties, and they come back to me and say, hey, I don't want to lose this. My friends are asking me if they can borrow a hair tie, and I say, no, I'm not giving you my DIY. And it's funny because I've never thought about it in those terms. People say, oh yeah, here, another hair tie. So we're trying to make that unique value that we have as humans reflect in your lifestyle as well. Like, you choose how you want to wear your clothing, you choose your style, and you should be able to choose it as well with your hair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent point. One thing I wanted to kind of segue into is maybe along the lines of selling a premium product. Like, what was the decision behind being on your own domain, TIY Life, versus going to Amazon or Etsy or eBay, I guess, one of those other platforms?
We looked more at creating a lifestyle. I've mentioned this before. We have a community that is based on being true, organically giving feedback to those who are getting to know TIY. So I guess we want to drive in a unique point that is our website, that is our own domain, that sense of home. You're coming to TIY Life, you know what you're getting, you know who you're talking to. So it's that family, community, that tribe feeling that you get a little lost when you scale and you start selling on Amazon or bigger platforms that might be really good for scaling your income and your money into the company, but then it loses a little bit the value of where you're going to buy your product.
Obviously I'm not a big fan of Amazon either. So like building your own community and not only that, I think like you have such a unique product to be able to show how that product can be used is you have a lot more resources by building on your own domain versus Etsy or Amazon.
Yeah, you can customize and you can add and give little details that they make you stand out in a different way. When you are building an e-commerce, it's very important for people to remember you. And honestly, if you go on Amazon or if you go on sites that are what they are and they work great, but they don't fit our brand of we're unique and we want to empower, it kind of goes against the culture of what we're trying to create.
Yeah. I want to circle back to Instagram. We talked about it a little bit. It's been a big driver for you. Yeah. What are some of the content that you're producing on Instagram, or how are you like totally utilizing the platform to be able to drive all these sales? So initially it was just what I knew about Instagram. So you post your picture, you try to get as many likes as you can. And then the content evolves. People want to see those colors, and when it comes down to our product, they want to see different applications. We have a very fun video of a dancer that is spinning with our hair tie, and at the same time in a split screen comparing her same pirouettes to a normal hair tie, and people love that video. They want to see the reality of non-edited content or super high-end produced videos. So the videos and the content that has been drawing people to our page, it's very organic, showing the products for what it is and the different applications that it has, showing the lifestyle that you can have if you are able to stand out on your own and wear something different. Customizing your hair tie is a change of behavior. You don't think about it until you think about it. And showing that on Instagram, it's been a big hit for us. Currently, I checked it right before coming in. We've had about 4,200 visitors on our site this week, and it's been great. Consider that a month and a half ago we were only 200, so that's great. Yeah, it's really amazing the power of social media, and I think I was watching one of the videos, and like you said, it's like very raw. You like grabbed your phone, you walked outside, you like plopped it down and you grabbed your 20-pound dumbbell
Yeah.
with like 3 of your competitors, and you did those 3. It was like very brave because it wasn't edited. Like,
Yeah.
And I was, I'll tell you, I was watching this. So she does one of those telephone cords. She does like the 2 of these traditional hair ties, and all, excuse me, all 3 of those broke. And then she used a TIY product, and I'm watching it, and then it broke. And I said, oh my goodness. And then you walked up to the camera, and it just turns out the tie came undone.
Yeah.
You retied it and did it again, and you just like lifted that 20-pound dumbbell like no issue at all.
As I was filming it, I said, I am crazy right now. I have so much confidence that this is not going to break. And when I saw the way that I was pulling it, you can actually in the video see my hand shaking because I was trying to hold this tie. The other ones didn't even come up the ground. So I said, wow, I'm really crazy right now. I am testing this live, and that's what it's been about. It's been about honesty, and as we were talking a little earlier, I think I don't have a great selling personality, and with this product, it has been really easy to connect with people and to get them to try. My personal effort in selling has been really low because it works. And I think it's something that in the e-commerce, it's key. If your product is superior, you just tell your audience to give it a shot, and they will come back to you organically.
And one more thing I want to touch on Instagram before we wrap it up is you guys work with a lot of other quote unquote influencers or professional athletes. Like, how do you manage that? How do you facilitate that? How do you reach out to them? Any tips that our listeners could have when it comes to reaching out to influencers?
Yeah. I look for people that are in tune with our brand, people that are active and that fit our audience. And I just honestly reach out to them with a message, sometimes with a video, and ask them if they want to give it a shot, if they want to try and have that bravery to change their behavior and the way they think about hair ties.
Now, where will people find your products again? What's the URL?
It's TIY Life.
So that's T as in Tom, Y as in your life.
Yes.
.com. And what about if they wanted to follow you on Instagram or social media?
It's all the same. It's TIY Life.
Okay.
On all platforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them have like an underscore, right? Or
the Twitter has an underscore, and YouTube is the same as Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, anything else that you'd like to add to our audience before we say our goodbyes?
I just encourage you to see and look at the reality that surrounds us a little different. Great things are born of basic ideas that we just make a little better. And if we all have the courage and the bravery to do that, maybe great things can happen.
Yeah. I'd love to circle back in like 3 to 6 months to see how the business is doing and growing and evolving over that time. So
absolutely. It would be my pleasure to be back.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. This has been another Building an E-commerce Business, and I hope you guys picked up a couple nuggets. As always, thanks for listening. Cheers, and keep on growing.